Good morning, guys. How did that work? Did that work well? Hold on. Welcome in. Good morning, good morning. I think that we are live, but time will tell. Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday. Yes, I know. I had the wrong title for the stream. This was a post. This was the wrong title, but if you refresh it, the new title has populated. Anyways, welcome in, guys. We are live. How is everybody doing? More sophisticated? I know, a little bit more sophisticated over here. Some advancements. Some advancements. We're still working on things, though. Obviously, still working on things, but we've gotten some technological advancements. We've gotten some improvements in the office and some advancements in the stream. We have new thumbnails. We have new things happening. So I'm looking forward to getting that out with you guys. And I'm also going to announce something today, either today or tomorrow. I'm not sure what I'll do, but I'll let you guys know. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. I need my caffeine today. I feel like I'm still sleeping. I need my caffeine. Good morning, guys. I spent the giveaway money. Yeah, I spent it all. Actually, the announcement is about the giveaway. I'm gonna let you guys know what I am planning to do for this month. For this month only, I'll let you guys know. I don't know if we'll talk about it today or if we'll do it tomorrow. Anyways, let's jump into our levels today. Okay, we have some top setups to watch for this morning, and I want to spend time on the charts. So a brief overview of what the market's doing here before we jump into our econ data and earnings reports. SPY is at supply, right? And you're seeing the rejections here this morning of the supply here pre-market. The market is basically moving off of the highs of Monday session, okay? And so today's session, we have to ask ourselves, do we hold support or do we fail support, right? And the support this morning is 682. That's the big level we have here on this beautiful Thursday morning, okay? So we'll talk about that, and we're sitting here pre-market now. We actually opened in supply here pre-market. When I was doing all my live stream stuff this morning at like 7 o'clock this morning, we were closer to supply. Now we're actually closer to demand. So the title of this live stream should be a little bit different. It should be actually, we're opening now into demand here, right? So let's see what happens here on SPY. We'll talk about this 682 in a moment here, okay? We'll go over the QQQ chart as well, Q's chart in also a big level of supply. You can see 610, 610 supply. This is a very big level on the market, and we're going to talk about this today. If we can't hold 610, the market inverts. So we will, we're screen frozen, guys. We are screen frozen right now. I'm sitting here talking about all this SPY stuff over here, and we're screen frozen. You know why? It's because I didn't do this. That's my mistake. I should have refreshed it. We're good now, though. We're good now. What I was saying on SPY, guys, is we have a huge level here at 682, right? So we'll go over this in a minute. Obviously, we're just introducing it. We're not talking about the levels right now. We'll go over Qs as well. QQQ, obviously 610, big supply zone to watch out for. We'll discuss that in a moment. Amazon was perhaps the best setup yesterday, and it worked out really nicely. So we'll go over Amazon. What does Amazon do today's session here? Apple also a top watch for me today. Apple is becoming a top watch. I'll show you what I'm looking for here in this chart. Apple chart, really interesting to me. Okay, we'll go over Apple. We'll go over Tesla. Tesla 400 flat. We'll go over Meta. Meta back at that channel, right? That channel high, 662. Very big level here on Meta. And we'll have a beautiful pre-market session. So first of all, yes, we have some econ data and earnings reports to talk about. Let's dive into it. On the econ side this morning, on the economic side this morning, we have our Thursday morning jobless claims, productivity cost, import-export prices. Market's already reacting to that. So when you guys saw me go live within the first few minutes of market of us going live, the market already responded to that. In terms of the data is as follows. Listen for a second. Okay, listen. Jobless claims rise to 13,000 versus the estimate to 15,000. Okay, so on target, right? Nothing really crazy here. Besides that, this morning we have some 10:30 a.m. data, and then tomorrow morning we have the biggest data release of the entire week, which is our employment data at 8:30 a.m. That means for you, Tom, Dick, and Harry, if you are swinging full port 1 DTE SPY, you have to understand that nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m., right? There is usually one set of data every week that has particular importance, and you get a lot of volatility that session, right? In that pre-market session, especially. That data is tomorrow morning, okay? So expect there to be some pretty big volume tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Also expect there to be some market reaction there as well, okay? Besides that, 8:30 a.m. data, 10 o'clock data as well, which is not so important, right? On the earnings docket for this morning, yesterday's session in the after hours, you guys saw your beloved BULL. We saw AVGO, AVGO. We saw pre-market session. We have JD. Okay, we have. That's it. That's all we have for this morning. JD probably pre-market. In the after hours today, we have Costco, COST. Retail has been pretty strong recently, so I am optimistic about Costco earnings. You guys know this. I've always wanted. I keep saying this. I think every time I mention Costco, I talk about wanting to buy Costco, and I never do it. I need to buy Costco, but I need to get the proper entry point. COST, beautiful stock. I love it. I want to get an entry. Hopefully, post earnings, it sells and we can get the entry, but I doubt it will because Costco is a colossal stock. MRVL, Marvel, also a chip name, so obviously that will have some impact on the chip side here in the after hours. Okay, that's all we have on the docket, guys, for earnings reports. Let's dive into our charts. What I want to do for a second, what did A and F do? Nothing. Abercrombie & Fitch did nothing. What did Avgo do? Avgo, nothing. BULL, nothing. Did Bull even report earnings? Yeah, it did. Okay. No volume here. I mean, is there any volume? Hold on. Let's just look at this for a second. I mean, come on now. What's going on here in Bull? Barely a market reaction. Nothing crazy. I wanted like a firework. Okay. I want a firework, but nothing happened. All right, guys, let's dive into our charts. Let's go into our SPY chart and we'll have a beautiful pre-market session. So first of all, how many likes do we have? We have 1,000 people here pre-market, and of the 1,000 people, let's do a refresh here. Of the 1,000 people, we have 252 likes. Guys, get the like count up. I'm here every single day, and we have a new and improved. How do you guys like the background? Is it better or is it worse? Be honest. Is it better or is it worse? I've had a few people tell me they don't like it, but you know what? I'm too deep into it, so I don't care what you say. But I'm curious. Is it? I think it looks better. I mean, I think it looks better. But everybody a few people that I've reached out to, like, oh, it looks shitty. I think it looks nicer for me. I mean, it's just the background looks more sophisticated. But you know what we need? We need like some more lighting in the background. I'm thinking of getting some artwork or something interesting. Yeah, it is dark. It's dark, right? It's a bit ominous. We need some more cheerful artwork back there. I don't know. We'll do something. Okay. So yesterday's session on the SPY chart, we just basically broke supply, and I mean, look, yesterday's highs was 682, which is Tuesday's highs. Now, obviously, 2 days ago's highs. 2 days ago's highs was 682, and this was your most important level yesterday's session. This was the inflection point yesterday's session, right over here. Okay, and then once we broke above this level and saw us sustain above the pre-market highs and even yesterday's highs, which was at that point Tuesday's highs, the market was bullish, and the market moved higher. In fact, we broke out, we retested the pullback long spot for an upside move. And so yesterday's session was mostly a bullish day on SPY, right? Now, we were bullish because we were holding a level. We were actually bearish at market open. I don't know if you guys recognize this, but we were bearish at market open because the market was underneath supply. But then finally, when the market broke above the supply zone, the supply turned into support, in which case we got a little bit of an upside move. So if you look at yesterday's session, I actually think it's funny to see this, but I saw so many people take long yesterday on Instagram. I was just going through Instagram, and everyone had the same entry point on SPY for longs. and they longed it all here. This is where everyone went long yesterday session, right over here at 684.30, 684.20. And this was probably the best possible long spot. I mean, I see it. Granted, you didn't really get a huge move, right? It wasn't like a sexy, I'm done for the week type trade. This was not a done for the week type trade, but it was a hold of technical support, in which case you decided to move back in high day, and that was a nice trade yesterday session, right? The break and retest of the Tuesday's highs and as well as the pre-market high for an upside move, right? That was what happened yesterday session. Now, we were bullish for one reason, right? We were bullish because we were moving off of the Tuesday's highs, right? And this morning, if you look at where we are pre-market, the Tuesday's highs is 682, okay? And so this was like a little cute long spot yesterday, but this morning, we're back at the major test in the market. Okay, the major test in the market, and no longer is 683.30 important. It's not important to me. The biggest level this morning is really 682. If we are below 682, then we are bearish, and we're looking for a downside move. So if we can break below 682, I think we sell back into 675. We invert today. If we hold 682, then we go back in high day of yesterday's session, right? So my expectations today's session are based upon how does the market respond to 682? If we start seeing us develop a hold here at 682 pre-market session and into market open, you would expect a move back into 687 today, which would be highs of yesterday's session. This would be a nice trending day. Okay, that's the first thing that we'd watch for today's session. And we are bullish here pre-market because we are above 682. If we fail below 682, we can look for a downside move and a move lower, right? And this would be your trending downside day, in which case you see a move back into 675 and the market completely inverts. But as of right now, we are not bearish, right? We're simply just bullish as long as we're above 682 here on the market, right? And that is what we have here on the SPY chart. If you zoom out for a second, I want to just take a second because we're talking about like 682 as like a smaller level. I want to zoom out on the 1 hour chart for a second. And you can see that, by all means, this is a break of trend. This is a hold at 682. If this does develop into a hold here, right? Let's just be real here for a second. If this does develop into a hold here, this would be a beautiful break above the trend line, which is we're already seeing pre-market, and an upside move, right? Back into 695 on the SPY, right? This would be what we're going to. If we maintain today and develop a strong low here and perhaps even break above the highs of yesterday's session here, right? Then we go into this level, 690, we go into 695, and we have a nice, beautiful upside Thursday and Friday session. But if the market does fail below 690, 682, right, then what are we doing? We're trapping up all of the longs here, and we see a downside move. And this would be oddly resemblant of what we saw here on Wednesday session into Thursday, right? Wednesday, Thursday session, trap above the highs, breakout move. Everyone thinks it's bullish. I even said we're bullish. I said we're bullish on Thursday, we're bullish on Wednesday, and then in the Thursday session, we boom, fail, right? And so if we see us break below 682 today, we fail lower, right? Because it would be a trapped up buyer scenario, in which case the market goes into 675. So what I'm trying to say here is our market is based upon, do we hold this level right there? That's the Cliff Notes, okay? On the ES chart, the biggest level this morning is simply 68.50. That's all it is, right? It's staring at us right in the face. 68.50 here in the ES chart is your biggest level. Are we above it? Yes. So we're bullish. So we're going higher, right? That's what it is. That's all I have for this morning. If we fail below 68.50, then we're bearish. And where are we going? We're going lower, right? Where's our target for longs today? If we hold this level right here, if we hold this 68.50 today on smaller time frames, you see us develop a hold spot at 68.50, then our approach should be, hey, we're likely going to fill the move back into 6,900 ES, which would be the highs of this session over here. So this should be my target for longs. If we can break and hold, if we can hold above 68.50, which we are pre-market, then we're moving into this green band over here. If we fail below the green band, we're going into the next green band at 6,800. So if you notice this for a second, it actually creates a very interesting session today, because on the ES chart, our targets for both longs and shorts are psychological whole number ES levels, i.e. 6,800 ES and 6,900 ES. So we have, and we're sitting at the midpoint too. It's actually quite interesting, right? It's quite interesting to see this. You can see our bias today is literally like this. We could go higher or we can go lower, but it's equal weighted, right? So there is equal target to the upside, equal target to the downside. But this morning we are this is where we are headed towards based upon this pre-market right now. It is this. This is what I would be leaning towards, would be us moving higher because we are holding above these set of highs over here and turning it into support, in which case it's leading for an upside move. So let's understand that yes, we could shift bias today, but the bias as it stands here pre-market is bullish because we are above 6850, right? Because we are above those Tuesday's highs. And if you zoom out for a second here, or zoom in for a second. Where is the Tuesday's highs? The Tuesday's highs right here, right? It's right there. And look at the low that's coming in right now on this ES chart, right over here. It's exactly at the same levels, right? So if this maintains today, upside. If it fails today, downside. That's all I have for you guys today here on the SPY and ES chart. Very easy read. Very, very easy read, okay? Let's move into our equities today. Actually, I'm lying. Let's move into Qs. On the QQQ chart, you can see here 610 Qs. 610 Qs is the level I want to see us hold today, all right? That's my big supply zone. The reason why it's so important is because, okay, look, we still do have the Tuesday's highs, which is 604. So 604 is still a level to watch out for. Remember I said Tuesday's highs on SPY is 682. Well, Tuesday's highs on the Qs is 604, and we're far away from 604. So we still have some support to watch out for down below, i.e. if we do fail today under 610, right? We see us fail 610 today, we're moving at 604, but 604 is still a bounce area for us today. It's still an area where there's going to be relief there. So be aware of 604 as support. If we lose 604, then I don't like longs in the market at all. Under 604, we fail lower and we go into 599, probably even 595, right? So this is my I want to say capitulation level. It's not a capitulation level. It's just a level of support, right? If we break below 604, which is again the Tuesday's highs, then we're going lower. And it's also the opening spot of yesterday's session, right? Tuesday's highs and opening spot of yesterday's session, then we're going to go lower in the market. Where do we go lower to? We go lower back into 599 and back into 595. I don't want to say capitulation, but I will say it should go lower into these demands down below, right? And that would be, again, a channel low to a channel high type trade, which case move down lower. So let's see what happens today's session. I do want to do an overview for a second. I want to jump back. I want to look at the daily 21 across the market. I want to just do a scan here. What's going on? Daily 21 on the QQQ chart at 604, daily 21 on the SPY chart, 686.50, high of yesterday's session. So literally right at the highs. On the ES chart, daily 21 is, again, 6,900 ES. So interesting spot here on the ES and SPY. Not on the Qs. QQQ obviously reclaimed it. But on the SPY and ES chart, you can definitely see that there is some reaction. There is some resistance above us here at the daily 21 SMA. So be aware of that today's session as well. If you do see us pop up higher into demand today, into the daily 21 today, it probably is a good profit-taking spot if you are long the market, right? That's what I'm seeing this session, right? So let's go over the IWM. The IWM, I think, gave you so much opportunity yesterday. If you just trusted the levels, look how beautiful this held yesterday. I mean, this was your most incredible break and retest. We said, what did we say? We said on Tuesday session, we're incredibly bearish because we're under 259. And then on Wednesday session, we said, hey, hold on a second, we're back above 259. What did we do? We pulled back. We retested our demand zone, rip upside move perfectly into what? The daily 21 SMA. The 2026 market loves this indicator. I don't know why. I'm not a huge fan of indicators, but this is the one thing you can see time and time again has shown you. This is where the market is gravitating towards almost every single time on almost every single ETF. The IWM rejected not even to the dollar, but almost to the penny at 262.94, which was the daily 21 SMA. Not important, right? But just showing you guys why I'm talking about this so much this year rather than last year. Last year, we didn't even talk about this. This year, we're talking more about it each session, right? On the 1 hour chart, you can see here that we are fully above 259. This is our bull bear pivot. Are we above it? We're bullish. Are we below it? Then we're bearish. If we fail below 259, we go back to 254 here on the IWM chart, right? So that is what I have for my ETFs. I want to dive into our top equity setups now. Let's jump into the first set of tickers this morning. We have the most obvious trade today, which is Amazon. So Mike and I both spent all pre-market yesterday's session talking about Amazon, and this was our top watch this was something we were talking about for a long time. And this was something that we just had to trade yesterday's session. This was the most incredible setup yesterday's session. I'll tell you this. I think I sold this early. I'll like straight up. I sold this early. I mean, I got in at the craziest part is I got in right over here. I got in right over there. I knew we were gonna break out. I know my Amazon, so I got in right over there. It ripped and I sold it. I sold everything. I sold everything right here. And you think, oh, that's great, right? But the difference between the contracts here and the contracts there was colossal, right? By this moment over here, the contracts were up like 95%, almost 100%. By this moment over here, for some reason, the contracts are up close to 270%. Why? I don't know, right? The IV gods spiked it, whatever reason, the IV gods spiked it. And the difference between here and here was almost 2x. So definitely interesting. That's why options are so great, right? Because you can't get that on futures. You cannot get that on futures. Tell me why from here to here is 90%, but then from here to here is 270%. It makes no sense, right? It makes no sense. The only reason why it makes sense is because of IV expansion, right? When everyone chases, everyone's buying the option longs on it. What does it do? It pumps IV, right? It pumps IV, especially when you get big moves like this beyond the ATR. Now those contracts go absolutely insane. So that's why options are so fantastic. Where you want one argument for options, this is it right here, right? You can get incredible trades like this. You can't get this on the ES chart. I mean, you're just not going to be able to get this, right? I mean, you still can get beautiful wins on the ES. I'm not discounting that, but this is the one argument for options, and that was yesterday's session, right? So what am I doing here? Why am I talking about this? Why am I even doing this, right? I'm supposed to be showing you guys levels, not talking about stuff like this. On the Amazon chart, what is going on here? So this morning, I mean, obviously, you know what I'm going to say here. The break and retest is here, right? If you want to look for a pullback long now, your 212 pullback long is probably the most logical spot. If you see us pull back to 212 today, it's probably a long, right? Break, retest, upside move, right? That's what we're looking for today's session. You do want to be aware of overhead supply, right? You have supply above you. Your first leg of supply is at 220. Bam, right there. So just be aware of that. 220 as your supply zone this morning. If you look at the daily chart here, you have some gaps to fill, right? So you have a double gap here. The first gap is at 220. And then above 220, we move into 226. And your second gap over here, which I think is really important as well, is if we do get above 226, there is a second gap to fill here between 226 and 232, right? So that was it, right? So 226 to 232. So gap number one and gap number two here on this chart. All right. Okay. So let's move on. Let's move on. Futures don't have that decay when you're yes, that is gunny. You are absolutely right. Futures, that's the one thing about that's the one benefit about futures. I mean, it's a big benefit, right? So on the Apple chart, what's going on here in Apple? So Apple basically is consolidating heavy, right? Heavy consolidation. And I think it's setting up for a big move. Apple does this. And I know I have a usually pretty good read on Apple, and you can see it. I'll explain it to you, right? You can see downside move, big consolidation, right? Consolidation, and it normally consolidates for a finite amount of time. It consolidates for almost an equal amount of time every single time, right? So you can see here, this consolidation was around 7-8 days, right? And the consolidation we're seeing right now on this chart is, again, about 7-8 days. We're almost the sixth day right now. And so we're going into the seventh day. And so I think that this is setting up for a move, okay? Now that sounds like astronomy, right? It sounds like astrology, astronomy. I'm not trying to like forecast this to make a big move, but because it's big flag, right? Consolidation for 7 days in a row. I do believe that an expansion is coming in, and the expansion move will either be, right? It's either going to be a fat move like this, or it's going to be a fat move like this. And so we know what's happening. It's going to come soon. And so what defines that move? What defines the move is going to be if we can get back above 267. If we do, then this is an upside trade, right? And we're going to break out back into 275. or we just simply break below 260, right? And if we fail below 260 today here on the Apple chart, we're going lower. And after we fails below 260, we're going back into, at this point, 258 and possibly even 255, right? Which would be your targets for your shorts. So I'm watching that today. One thing I want to make clear too is it's also a really nice head and shoulders. So I don't know if you guys see this, but the head and shoulders is very valid. You can see you have your left shoulder, your head, and your right shoulder. Okay, if we can break below the neckline here at 260, it's a downside move, right? If you reclaim 267, it's an upside move. It's invalidation of the head and shoulders, right? My drawing looks horrible here, but you guys understand the idea. Again, Apple, right? 267 breakout or 260 failure for a downside move. Okay. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Tesla. Tesla 400 support. That's all I have here, guys, in Tesla. Look, I don't really have a good read in Tesla, to be honest with you. I don't. I really don't. I just don't know what's going to happen. And if I don't know what's going to happen, I don't really say much about it. 400 is your support today. If we lose 400, we probably go back into 86, right? If you hold 400, then I don't know, right? Back into highs yesterday's session. It did nothing really clear to me in Tesla. Meta is at a huge support this morning, and this was what happened yesterday's session. Was we broke 662, so the 662 breakout was beautiful yesterday. Look, break above, fell below, reclaimed it, upside move, right? And so now we're opening right back into support this morning here on Meta's chart. We basically inversed the whole move back into support, and now we're sitting at support here pre-market session. This to me looks like a long as we're holding 662. If you fail it, then obviously short, but this morning we're at support. So this right now is your bull bear pivot, and we're simply sitting right above it, right? So 662 support, and we're sitting right at it. You can see we have our highs over here, we have our highs over here, and we have our highs over here as well. And we're sitting right at support this morning. So break, retest, and what do we do here at support? Probably an upside move if the market does hold strong, right? That's what we're seeing this morning. Has to hold strong for that to work, okay? But Meta's chart, big support over here, big resistance over here, and then obviously another leg of support over here at 630 today on Meta's chart. All right. Let's go over a few more, guys. Let's go over, what am I missing? I feel like I'm missing stuff today, right? AMD, Nvidia, I'm missing all the chips. AMD. Mike spoke about this yesterday. I don't know if you guys remember, this was what he was watching, that 195 break. This was possibly the best other trade today, yesterday's session besides Amazon. And I wasn't watching this at all. And that's why it's quite interesting to have like different ideas here. Where you can see he was watching the 195 breakout yesterday's session, and you can see exactly where it flips, right? This is why I love trading. You can see your level was here yesterday, 194.50, 195, right? And you can see exactly where the market flipped. You have your initial rejections, obviously showing you can't go long yet, right? And finally, right here, 955, you have your full breakout candle. At this moment, everything turned from now a bear bias to a bull bias or an upside move. And that's where you get the big upside trending day. And this actually moved almost similar. Wow. Didn't realize how much this moved yesterday. Holy shit. This actually moved a lot, right? 3.5% equity move here on AMD. So definitely a big move yesterday's session. Almost the same as Amazon, basically. Now, what can we do today here in AMD? Well, AMD's chart, pretty simple, right? You have your support down below here at 195, which is the same support yesterday's session. But you also still have a level here at 199, right? 199 is that the highs from that Monday session. I think that yesterday this was a nice move, but I have a hard time trying to find a spot to long this again. I mean, if I was maybe trading a fib, I could tell you probably look for the 195s today. That's the only thing I'm going to say is maybe look for the 195s. If you want to see us pull back here for a little bit of a support hold, there could be a 195 support hold today. It's a fib level. It's also your breakout level from yesterday's session. I would watch that 195 as your pullback long spot. If you hold above the Monday's highs, which happens to be about 199 and change, then this again moves back into yesterday's highs, which is 202, right? So I would mostly be watching for longs at AMD, right? Especially if you're holding 195. This would be my bull bear pivot today's session. We're well above it. So 195 pullback long, or 199 reclaim for an upside move. Again, not top watch for me, but important for you guys to know. Nvidia. On the Nvidia chart, Nvidia is weak, and Nvidia does not look bullish, guys. Nvidia does not look bullish. I mentioned this a few days ago, but I mentioned the 186 rejection on Nvidia. I think I mentioned it yesterday's session, and it didn't really go into 190. It didn't really go into 186. But I want to show you one thing. Ready for something? I'll show you something crazy. hold on a second. My pen keeps getting on loose. 186, daily 21 SMA. Bam. Again, right? This is lining up perfectly with the daily 21. So your daily 21 SMA and your supply lining up almost perfectly. And so you know this is your spot today, okay? If we are under this level, we're bearish. So one of my top watches today's session is just simply Nvidia under 180, right? If we can break below 180 today, I'm looking for shorts on this chart into 174. So this is one of my top watches, is this simple supply rejection. You can see a little bear flag, right? Bear flag, supply rejection, 186, downside move under 180, move in 174. I'm watching this for shorts today, right? Especially if we're under 186. That's the major contingency. We're under 186. Okay. All right. What else are we watching here? What else are we watching? Where's Bruce? Where is Bruce in the chat? Bruce has my list of names to go over. I'm missing everything. I don't know what to do. I'm lost right now. I'm lost. One level here. What's going on here in this chart? This chart looks terrible. This is a terrible chart, guys. I'm not look at this. Ready for this? Look at this chart. I refuse to chart this chart. I refuse to chart this chart. What am I going to do here? Right? What am I going to do here? There's ups and downs and ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs, but nothing's happening here in Navigo, right? I refuse to do this chart. I refuse. Netflix. Okay, Netflix 100. Okay, when you have a very key level like 100 on Netflix, I think we break it, right? There's too much liquidity at this level for it not to break. Okay, so 100 must break at this point. If we can clear 100, then we go to 105, right? 104, 105. And so my expectations are we clear 100 and I can start taking trims, right? Look, if you longed it with us at 80, you longed it with us at 78, you longed it with us at 85, we're up a lot right now on Netflix, guys. So feel free to take Netflix off if you want to. I'm holding mine personally. I'm going to look for a break above 100 and I'll get my trims in 100 because that's what I think will happen here. But again, manage it as you see fit, okay? TGT, same thing. TGT, I'm out majority now, guys. This was my fair value, 123. People call me stupid. They call me Muppet. They called me Hammerhead Shark, right, for longing into 120 for longing TGT when it was at 85 a share, 84 a share, and we are up. I mean, at this point, look at this, right? We were talking about it over here, and we're up 47%, right? I mean, my average is not that low. My average is like 90, so I shouldn't even be saying that. But obviously, this was a nice trade, okay? And so TGT at my fair value, I am, and it's even written here, right? I'm out majority. I don't care what happens here now on this chart. I'm basically fully out. I have, at this point, maybe 10% of my initial position, right? Moving on. Hood 80, that's your level, right? Hood 80 is your level. And Hood, once it reclaimed 80, it was a beautiful breakout yesterday's session. So Hood 80 is your big support today. If you want to look for the break and retest off 80, that's what I'd be looking for today's session. This is your break and retest level today. This is your pullback long spot. If you do pull back there, you want to see us develop a hold, this is your spot, 80, okay? 80. Palantir, PLTR, 145. 145, very key level in Palantir's chart. 145, huge level. Guys, that is it for me today. Thank you all for joining in. It's 9:07. I did not realize the time. I appreciate everyone here, and I hope you guys have a beautiful Thursday trading session. Bye, guys.